Bailey, what are some good examples, some use case examples for that?
Well, I mean, let's start with just the reality of today that we see within every enterprise we walk into. They have Amazon, whether they like it or not, because the business units have gone out from, either developers or marketing teams have gone out and started using AWS. They have data centers, and there's a major gap between data center, ground up infrastructure and application down realities of cloud. So they're trying to reconcile those two worlds. So just, we did a state of the cloud report earlier this year, about 1,000 respondents. 74% of them said that hybrid cloud is here today and is a reality for their business. Just a quick side note, it's really a AWS, VMware, and Azure sort of pivot point within those enterprises. We certainly see OpenStack and CloudStack and other desires, but ultimately that's the reality of their IT environment today. So whether you're Samsung, who's a massive AWS user, like Zynga was, trying to get better price control, or you're a 3M who has HIPAA compliant applications you need to run into a data center and you're going to choose OpenStack. I mean, the use cases are all over the map, and a lot of it ties, we could talk for a whole hour about governance, right? The fact that my data needs to live in country because I'm storing information about my consumers. So the use cases are endless.
I'm going to throw in one add-on point there, which is, do you remember when we used to use Windows file trees? And you would store your music in one folder, your photos in another folder. You had to remember how they were named. And fortunately, you might have had one search interface, the Windows search bar. If you have a mobile device right now and you've got iCloud, Google Drive, Dropbox, Box, Bitcasa, that's just 5 storage applications there. How do I know where the hell I put anything anymore? Right. That's a perfect example of a multi-cloud problem that needs to get solved for a consumer. You can imagine what it's like for an IT department for corporate needs and then trying to wrangle in what their individual users are actually doing. So I think that really touches on Bailey's point about how do you get visibility and management across all of these things. So that actually is one of the burning challenges, multi-cloud.
Yeah, I think another way to kind of answer this question is less from a technology difference point of view, but really what this enables a business to do. And I think that's around being able to leverage vendors for cost, right? So you saw what happened April 1st with Amazon and Google battling it on the price war. So having the capability and the malleability in how you deploy or consume infrastructure gives you the ability to take advantage of those marketplace use cases as they're tangibly meaningful to the bottom line. The other one too is private cloud versus public cloud. Again, another way to dial into specific performance requirements that you may have for your infrastructure, or to solve what may be possible performance-wise, but very costly from a public provider. Just again, having that ability to shape your cost structure, even to the point, and this was actually one of the things that was a catalyst at Zynga, was the company at the time, pre-IPO, was consuming a lot of Amazon, had some legacy kind of data center specific infrastructure, but as a pre-IPO company, there was some sensitivity to how much OpEx versus CapEx there was. So there was actually some interest in spending more capital. Zynga had some capital, and that was one of the catalysts that actually helped us move quickly on private clouds, because it would have an impact, a desirable impact on how that reflected on the balance sheet. So very different way to look at use case there, but relevant.